Hello yet again, and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror update. It is 2:30 in the morning, so that means a glass of water, of course. And it would be day 5 from the Toronto After Dark Film Festival. Today's two features were interesting, that's for sure. The first one up is the film Open Windows, directed by Nacho Vigalondo, who is one of the new wave Spanish directors. He did Time Crimes and Extraterrestrial. I think both of them played the Toronto International Film Festival. He also has he's also, well, I guess a segment or a portion of, or I don't know. He's got something going on with VHS Viral, which is the upcoming VHS release. I think it's the third one in the series, right? But this is Open Windows. And it essentially, though there's other people in the film, it essentially stars two individuals, one being our favorite Hobbit, Elijah Wood, who is I would say the main character in this film, and the other one being Sasha Grey, playing a starlet, an up-and-coming starlet who Elijah Wood is I guess he's been fantasizing. He runs a website dedicated to her, which, posts photos and such of her, and people can go check it out, obviously, and stuff like that. Sasha Grey, if you know who she is, then shame on you. Essentially, she has done a ton of films. A ton of adult films. Yes, she has been, doing Playboy stuff, all sorts of adult films, right from, I guess, from the age of 18, and she's now 27, 26, so, yeah, so if you know Fishnets 8, or Bitchcraft 4, or maybe Totally Fucked 2, or Teenage Horrors 3, then you probably know Sasha Grey. Excuse the language. Yeah. If there are any youngins watching this video, then you probably already know you've probably seen her movies, I'm not gonna lie. You probably have. But yes, Open Windows. What is Open Windows? Well, Open Windows seems to be... I'll give you the synopsis of the film. Like I said, Elijah Wood is this blogger, webmaster for this website about Sasha Grey's character, Jill Goddard, and she's in, I guess it's the premiere for this new movie that she's in, which is, I guess the premiere is taking place at some fantastic fest, and he's apparently won a contest to meet her and have dinner with her or something like that, but something goes wrong. He gets caught up in this hacker weird play. It's a thriller. It's a morality play. It's a play on the devotion towards celebrities and stuff. And yeah, this hacker essentially uses him and his computers and stuff, and frames him for essentially kidnapping Sasha Grey, or Jill Goddard. And so it's this, figuring out what's going on, how are things happening, etc., etc. Just constant thrill ride, car chase, etc., etc. Type film. It's very much, I would say it's very much geared to a wide release type audience, though it does have some nudity and some definitely sexually suggestive moments in it. I mean, well, if you cast Sasha Grey, you might as well, right? But it's funny. So I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It's the film is dumbed down for, well, it assumes the crowd is a little bit dumb. Because, like I said, it involves, this hacker and all this kind of stuff. And it's what I would call the new take on found footage films, in which case it's the open windows refers to his desktop. It's, I guess, what they call desktop films now. Apparently that's the thing this year. There's a whole slew of these films that are essentially just what you're viewing is the desktop of the computer, right? And the open windows are all the windows that open up and such. So he's got, different feeds from the internet. He's got, this hacker's hacked into his computer, and he's getting video feeds from cameras all over, and et cetera, whatever, hacking into phones and stuff. Other hackers hacking into his computer. All sorts of this, essentially hacking stuff going on in video. And it's all from that perspective of these cameras and his computer, and all of it's literally on his desktop. So even though it could be another camera in another room, what you're watching on the screen is from the actual desktop view of it. Of course, the camera moves around the desktop itself, and yeah, he moves windows as well, and closes and opens and stuff like that. But you're essentially, the entire film is his desktop. So when you're looking at the actual actor, you're looking at the actor through the camera on the computer shooting him, but we're just looking at the actual desktop, which has whatever the software is, the camera footage, the camera software. And I do have to say, I do like that it brings a new way of doing the found footage film, and because we're more and more into computers, it does tend to lend itself well to people, the younger generation, and how they communicate and what goes on and stuff. Where it gets a little bit silly is how this works. Things are being hacked within like a second's video feeds, batteries are going on forever, all sorts of stuff, which literally, if you know anything about the computer and internet stuff, it doesn't work that way. So you do have to turn off that switch in your brain to let it go. Now, when I say it's for a dumber audience, there are a lot of people who just don't know how the internet works. There are a lot of people who don't know how computers work. There's a lot of people who don't understand how that works. So for them, they may actually think this is all possible, and they probably will. I'm sure I know enough people who, should they watch this, would be like, think 90% of it is possible. But in reality, I mean, anybody who knows anything about computers and networking and all that kind of stuff would see it right off the bat and notice that, yeah, they're going to that umpteenth level of, yes, there are some things that can be done, and, including what's in the movie, they can be done. They just can't be done the way they're showing on screen. But it makes for flashy looking thing. It keeps going. It's very energetic. It goes through again. Because of those aspects, I don't think it's a great film, but it is skillfully done. It is well done. I'm not going to say it's not. It's everything seems to be in its place. even if it is over the top and outrageous. I found any questions I seem to have were either actually questions that characters in the movie also had and such and posed, or things were an answer was given, whether it be an answer to the character in the movie or an answer just and some kind of explanation without giving an actual explanation type thing. So I didn't find that I had too many questions short of the fact of it wasn't really questions, but more like statements like that you can't, that's not possible, or you can't do that. And I know you can't, but whatever. It's one of those things where certain things made no sense at first, but there was an explanation for it given. Whether you go with the explanation or not, that's your own story. But you know what? It's a movie. It's got the twists and turns. It's right on thriller. It keeps going and building and moving and it's constantly, and essentially you're just watching this desktop. So yeah, you'd be surprised at how, I guess, entertaining just watching a computer desktop can be when it involves espionage and subterfuge and well, yeah, just bad stuff. So it's not going to be for your how would I put it? It's not going to be for the kind of person who is I don't know, if you're into Godard and Kubrick and that kind of thing, like if you're into that kind of cinema and you're haute cinema, if you like studying the history of cinema and you go way back, and I'm not just talking about Nosferatu and stuff like that, but you study everything, right? This probably isn't for you. But if you're somebody who likes a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of thriller, if you like your James Bond movies, if you like your I don't know, your mysteries, a little bit of a techno mystery, I guess. If something like The Net is more up your alley, or Hackers is more up your alley, then you might like this. And if you're into thrillers and such, this is geared towards you, and you'll probably have a good time with it. I actually found it quite humorous, but I don't think it was intentional. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff where it just doesn't work. It just doesn't happen. You can't do these things, and I got a laugh out of those. And a lot of people around me and such also got laughs out of those types, situations and such. So yeah, it's definitely not for everybody, but I think it knows its target audience, and Elijah Wood does a fantastic performance. Sasha Grey, surprisingly, is quite good. She plays both the victim and the strong, the weak victim and the strong victim very, very well. And it'll be interesting to see if she can jump into full, feature major motion pictures, through this or not. The second film, wow, interesting film. It's called Kumiko the Treasure Hunter. It's directed by David Zellner, who he's an actor and director. I don't think I've seen anything he's ever done. Because he's mostly done shorts so far. So I don't think it's his feature debut. I think it's yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of him. I've never seen anything else he's done. The film stars, well, he's in it. David Zellner's in the movie, but it also stars Rinko Kikuchi, who you'll know from recent Pacific Rim, and what else? 47 Ronin, I think she was in. But yeah, she's Mako Mori from Pacific Rim, so you know, that gets you should figure that out from that. She's also been in lots of other stuff, but that's where you probably know her from. And essentially, she plays a Japanese woman who, I guess, she's into treasure hunting of sorts. Thus, the treasure hunter portion, and she follows a treasure map, which leads her to she finds a VHS tape of Fargo, and from watching, she finds a hidden. For some reason, somebody hid this tape of Fargo, so she thinks it's something special. So she watches, the movie Fargo, which if you haven't seen, you should see it. Go watch it; it's good stuff. Coen Brothers, and so she watches this VHS tape, and because Fargo is it's supposed to be based on a real, true story. She gets it in her head that the Fargo movie is real. That's not really explained why, but that for some reason she associates the movie with the real story, and therefore the Fargo movie is the real telling of the story, and everything in the movie is real. So she thinks in her mind that there's a scene where in Fargo some money is buried, that nobody has found this money yet. And so she studies the video, takes measurements of things on the video, and gets maps and stuff, and somehow makes her way over to the United States and goes on a journey to find this treasure. And it's an interesting film. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I was really disappointed by it, because it's playing at the Toronto After Dark Film Festival, which is horror films and sci-fi films and action films and cult films and bizarre films, and really this is a pretty straight Japanese film. Well, it's actually a Japanese-American co-production, and yeah, it's weird to see this type of film at the film festival. Yes, it does have Fargo. Yes, it is a little bit bizarre, but it's not. I don't think it's bizarre enough for this particular film festival. For me, I could see it at the Toronto International Film Festival. I could see it at the Toronto Japanese Film Festival. I could see it at the Real Asian Film Festival. If Shinseidai, the film festival I was involved in, was still running, I could see it there. There's a lot of film festivals in the city that I think it was more appropriate for, and I'm surprised some of them didn't pick it up or weren't showing it or hadn't shown it. So yeah, it's really weird, but it's a beautiful story. It sort of has aspects of Lost in Translation, but instead of an American in Japan, it's a Japanese girl in America. So there's clearly language barriers and culture barriers, and of course, for some reason, she thinks the movie is real. And even though she gets informed that no, it's just a movie, like there's no real treasure there. It wasn't a documentary. She still doesn't believe it. So I'm not quite sure as to the intelligence level of this woman and her excuse me, her understanding of things, because she is holding down a job. She's got a full-time job. So, and obviously when she's in the job, she's very much distracted. At least that's the impression I get, because of this treasure that she wants to go, finding. But yeah, she doesn't come across as being, comes across as being sort of an outcast at work. But it just seems weird that somebody who is, of the age that she's at, I'm not talking like 15-year-old, she's late 20s. I think that she's 27, I think is 27. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. I think they said it was late 20s. They actually said, she says her name, her age in the movie. But somebody at her age should know, movies are make-believe. Even if they're based off of a real story, what you're seeing isn't what actually happens. And so I was expecting, though I knew what it was about, I was expecting somebody who watched Fargo and used that as the, stepping stone to try and decipher and figure out the actual true story and where the money is located. But that's not the case. No, she analyzed the video and used the video as the basis for what she was trying to find. So she was trying to find the money in the movie, which was made up. And I don't understand why she wouldn't understand that. So that's the one problem I have with the film, is she's not portrayed as slow necessarily. Outcast, yes. Slow, not so much, other than the fact that she doesn't understand how movies are made, essentially. But other than that, the film is beautiful. It's got moments of comedy, and it's very much a drama, with a little quirkiness to it. And so if you get a chance to see it, and that's your type of thing, like a Japanese-American co-production, subtitles, lovely story, if you like Fargo, the movie Fargo especially, and you have that connection to it, then I'd say check it out. Like, go track it down. See if it comes around your neck of the woods, and give it a watch. But Kumiko the Treasure Hunter is not part of my 31 Days of Horror. It's not a horror movie, so it gets an honorable mention. Well, what are you gonna do, guys? They can't all be horror movies, right? So anyways, that's it for tonight's update. Tomorrow I will be watching 2 timey-wimey films, which will qualify, as far as I know, because they're at least thrillers, and I qualify thrillers as horror. There's people, chasing and killing, so they will get it. So yeah, look forward. If you like your sci-fi and time travel, next video is going to be great. I may even break it up into 2, depends on how good it is. So till next video, guys, take care, have a good one.